there is a current identity trap, and that is that you are believing that you're inconsistent and that you can't stick to things. But what is actually happening is that strategies are built for someone else's life and not yours. I'm Dani Louise Smith, and I help business owners to create consistency in their income even when life is unpredictable. So if you are a carer and you have additional responsibilities, maybe you have a family with additional needs, maybe you're neurodivergent, or maybe you have a disability and health condition yourself that creates this extra barrier to business growth, well, I want to help you to break down those barriers and build your business regardless of those external circumstances. Because the reality is you're not inconsistent, your strategy just doesn't fit your life. So I want to talk about the people that are, and this might be you might identify here, the people that have got rigid posting schedules. Like, how many gurus out there tell you that you have to post X amount of times a day? I've heard it all from you must post 3 times a day on every single platform that you're on, or when you're launching you must post 6 times a day. Like it's this unwritten rule that is going to get you the visibility, the engagement and the conversion that you desire, but that's not actually what's going to get you the results. Even if you create that consistently over a long period of time, all it's going to do is it'll probably reach more people because you're posting more. Like, reaching more people will help you reach more people. Posting more will help you reach more people, but that is just high output expectations, when what we actually need is low output to bring in high return. And that's where this gets to change for you right now, because I want you to actually introduce a flexible strategy with minimum effective actions. And I've got a few tips here today that I want to share that are going to help you step into this, so that you're recognising that consistency is not your problem, it's just your strategy. So I want you to think about, where have you been consistent with something that you're not getting the results? What you need to look is at the data. You need to actually identify what you can do to change what's happening. And in fact, if you have been taking action and you have felt like you've been consistent, but you're still feeling that the results are not coming, this is where you get to be in a powerful position, because once you've actioned things, you actually get to look at what's working and what isn't, and identify what you can keep, what you can let go of. So I first want to talk about how to identify your real capacity. I want you to identify what this actually needs to look like for you, because every individual person has a different life. We have different commitments, we have different responsibilities, we have different things going on that are going to take up our time, that are going to take up our capacity. And so I want you to identify your real capacity. What does it actually look like for you to run a business successfully? Most people will talk about embodying that higher self, that future you, and yeah, we absolutely want to do that. I love that stuff, right? But strategically, how do we actually do that? This is the unspoken thing. Like, nobody tells you how to do that. You have to actually take some practical action. So I want you to identify what your capacity actually looks like. It's really powerful if you have a calendar or a diary and you can look back on where your time has been spent recently, just like you would if you were trying to figure out how to better manage your finances. You'd look at where the money's been spent. So in this case, I want you to identify where the time has been spent and see where maybe there were white space, and look at how you've actually used it and assess that. Or what you can do is monitor it from here on out and look at where you're spending time to see what your real capacity is and how you can shift how you do spend your time. Because I want you to identify that first and foremost, because before you put any actions in your diary and before you change anything, you need to look at actually what is working and what isn't before you actually fix what isn't broke, or you do the opposite and you completely make it worse. So first, identify what your real capacity looks like. And this is in every sense, so not just your business. Yes, of course, your business, because you want to look at your capacity for how many clients you can hold and what services they're in, but also maybe look at your capacity for how much you commit to any responsibilities that you have. So, for example, I have 3 children, and we are not actually we are not planning on having any more children, and that is because my capacity identifies that I do not have the space in my life to take on a 4th child. And so we've looked at that and we've taken actions to make sure that that doesn't happen. And so it's doing the same thing for your business. How do you figure out what your capacity looks like and what you need to do about it? Okay. Second thing I want you to do is look at what your non-negotiables are outside of your business, because There are some things that you absolutely have to do. It might be at certain times, days, weeks or months that you have to do those things. So I want you to look at what's actually non-negotiable outside of the business. Like what cannot be changed because you have a responsibility for it, or you commit a commitment to it. So I want you to look at that, because I want you to reframe what that actually means for you, because I guarantee that the reason that is a non-negotiable is because it's really valuable to you. And if it's not, then maybe we need to let go of it. Can you cut the cord from whatever that is? And it's really being honest with yourself on this, and then being able to take the action that aligns with it. Then I want you to look at what actually needs the support internally, like inside of your business. I want you to think about the real key areas, like maybe it's your mindset and your energy levels. In that one area, how is that looking? Maybe it's your marketing. Does your marketing need a strengthening message or better positioning? Maybe it's your strategy, and it's actually strategically you need to be mapping out and planning your actions. And maybe it's the sales actions, and that's the area that you need to focus on, is learning the sales skills that's actually going to move you forward. So I want you to look internally at these 4 areas of your business and audit them and see what needs to change. Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? Where are your opportunities, and where are your threats? Because this is so powerful to look at. And then maybe you want to look at the systems that you can put in place to help you with each of those 4 areas. So just as a reminder, you want to be looking at your mindset and your energy. You want to be looking at your marketing. You want to be looking at your strategy, and you want to be looking at your sales. And then the final thing I want to talk to you on that you can actually implement into your business is task batching to get ahead. Oh, this is so underrated, and I'm actually doing that right now because I have an unpredictable life. I've got 3 neurodivergent children who are actually currently on Easter break at the time of recording this, and basically they're back to school on Monday. We've got to prepare ourselves for that, but I've got a busy weekend. I've got other projects to be working on, and I want to be spending time with them tomorrow, having a movie night on a Friday night. And so what I actually need to identify is what I can do to enable myself to get ahead and lean into my energy as well. So when you're task batching, don't just do it for the sake of it and putting loads of pressure on yourself to do lots of big tasks in one go. Instead, batch the tasks together that make sense to go together. For example, recording multiple episodes in one go, which will become evidently clear by the time you watch this, when you see that a lot of my episodes that were recorded in this batch have this microphone here, which I don't usually have, because I like to change the look up sometimes. But I want you to really acknowledge that, like, what does that look like? So, you know, what tasks actually go well together that you can bounce off each other, really build the momentum with, and that enables you then to get ahead. But also it's about managing how to do that in the right energy. So for example, I'm a woman, I'm female, and so I am a cyclical being, and I track my cycle and I roll with that. So my energy is really high right now. I'm on fire, great energy. I know that part of my cycle that I'm at. So I've made an executive decision to start batching and recording these at this time, rather than trying to keep up with myself each week, especially because there may be occasions where things might not quite go to plan. So if things don't go to plan every week, I'm going to get behind very fast. So instead, by task batching, I've enabled myself to get way ahead, so even if I miss one week, it is not a problem. And this is what, these are things that are going to make such a difference to your business, and are actually easy to implement. Consistency should be adaptable. It shouldn't be rigid. It should not be rigid at all. And I want you to identify that it's not that you can't succeed, it's that you've been given strategies that don't work for your life. And I'd like to advocate that I have created the place that would be designed for you. In the Boss Academy, we don't force you into someone else's version of consistency. Instead, we build a business that works on your best days and your hardest ones. So it's building your business by design. Come and check it out if you want to find out more, and I'd love to be able to support you so that you can identify what your real capacity looks like, set your non-negotiable outside and inside your business, and get the support that you need and deserve when it comes to marketing, when it comes to your mindset and energy, when it comes to strategy, and when it comes to sales. And we can start looking internally at those strategy and systems that are going to help you move forward, and we'll get you set up with task batching to get ahead in a way that feels great and works for you. I'm Dani Louise, helping service-based businesses to create a sustainable income even when life is unpredictable. subscribe for even more content on a weekly basis just like this, that are going to get you motivated, going to create momentum for you and help you succeed in your business.